You know, in the world of Web3, we have this massive, multi-million-dollar problem, and it all comes down to one simple word: trust. How do you know who to collaborate with, which projects are actually worth funding, or how to vote in a DAO when everyone's history is just scattered all over the place? Well, today, we're going to look at a project that's tackling this head-on, building a verifiable layer of trust for the entire ecosystem.
So let's just get right into a real-world story. There was this attacker, went by DevExpert123. Now, this person built up what looked like a decent track record across a bunch of different communities. It was enough to get access to a treasury where they stole over $8 million. But here's the wild part. People were suspicious. There were warnings, but they were all buried in private Discord channels and internal reports, totally invisible to the next DAO that came along.
In that story, it perfectly captures the crisis of trust we're facing in Web3. Your reputation, all that hard work you put in, your credibility, it just doesn't follow you from one place to the next. It's broken up, it's siloed, and that creates a system that's not just inefficient, but dangerously easy for bad actors to game.
I mean, think about it this way. You could be an absolute rockstar contributor in one DAO, leading huge projects, earning tons of respect. But the second you step into a new community, poof, you're a total stranger. You're starting from scratch. This whole situation just grinds talent to a halt and turns DAO governance into a complete guessing game.
And you gotta understand, this isn't just some minor inconvenience. The fallout is massive, and it has real-world costs. It makes finding good people a total nightmare. It swings the door wide open for these grant mercenaries who just bounce from project to project, sucking up funds and disappearing. And it leads to governance by the deepest pockets, not the sharpest minds.
All right, so how on earth do we fix this mess? Well, this is where Andromeda Core steps in. The core idea is, what if we could build an engine that could vacuum up all this fragmented data, make sense of it, and then turn it into a single, unified, and verifiable reputation?
And here it is, Andromeda Core. You should think of it as an operating system for reputation. It's a foundational layer designed to create truth and make human coordination actually work in Web3. And the cool thing is, instead of waiting for you to sign up and build a profile, Andromeda is already out there, proactively mapping the digital footprints we all leave behind. So the key output from this whole engine is something called the trust score. But please, don't think of this like a simple credit score. It's so much richer than that. It's a multidimensional profile that tells a full story. It captures your skills, your reliability, your entire history of collaboration. It's the whole picture.
So how does it actually work? Well, it's a three-step process. First, it ingests data from basically everywhere: your GitHub commits, your votes on Snapshot, your on-chain transactions. Then comes the secret sauce, the AVIT protocol. It analyzes everything, spots weird behavior, and, this part is brilliant, it applies something called asymmetric decay. That just means your good contributions stick around for a long time, while past mistakes slowly fade. It allows for growth. Finally, it generates that portable trust score that you can take with you anywhere.
Okay, this is all great, but how do we know we can trust the reputation system itself? How does Andromeda make sure all this data is secure and nobody can mess with it? Because, a system of trust is worthless if you can't trust the system itself.
Right. I mean, think about it. A system that holds the keys to who gets funded, who gets hired, who gets trusted, that becomes a massive target for attackers. So the foundation it's built on has to be absolutely rock solid. It needs a serious anchor.
And this is the masterstroke. This is the genius move. Instead of trying to secure itself with its own token, like a lot of other protocols, Andromeda anchors its data on Rootstock. And Rootstock is a sidechain that is secured by more than 60% of Bitcoin's hashing power. So what does that mean? It means Andromeda's reputation data basically inherits the security of the most battle-tested, most secure blockchain in the entire world.
The best way to visualize this relationship is with this simple metaphor. Rootstock is the root. It's the deep, unshakable foundation that provides security and permanence, all derived from Bitcoin. Andromeda is the graph that grows on top, producing the really valuable fruit: verifiable trust.
The process itself is actually pretty elegant. Basically, Andromeda gathers up a batch of all the new reputation data, creates a single unique digital fingerprint, a hash, for that entire batch, and then it permanently stamps that fingerprint onto the super secure Rootstock blockchain. It's like creating an indestructible save point for the collective memory of Web3.
Okay, so let's bring this out of the theoretical and into the real world. A strategic partnership with a project called Metapool shows exactly how powerful this technology can be when you actually put it to work.
So this is Metapool. They're a huge liquid staking protocol in the Near ecosystem.
And they have a massive problem. They need to assess the quality and the risk of over 80 different validators, but their track records are pretty much a black box. It's like trying to make a high-stakes decision completely in the dark.
This is where Andromeda comes in and gives them 3 game-changing advantages. First, security. It helps them spot those grant mercenaries by shining a light on their entire cross-chain history. Second, it becomes a magnet for top-tier talent. Why? Because the best builders want to work in an ecosystem that actually recognizes and rewards their hard work. And third, it gives them a killer competitive edge. While everyone else is competing on yield, Metapole can compete on something way more valuable: trust.
And look, this isn't just some vague idea. This is a real, funded, $30,000 co-investment to build this out. They are putting serious money to work building the data pipelines, the payment logic, and most importantly, a custom risk intelligence dashboard that their stakers can actually use. This is happening.
So we've walked through the problem, the engine that solves it, the anchor that secures it, and a real-world case study. So what does this all mean? What does it add up to for the future of Web3?
The impact, honestly, is huge for everyone. For you, the builder. Your professional history finally becomes a real asset that you actually own and can take with you. For DAOs, making decisions about grants and hiring becomes radically safer and smarter. And for the whole Web3 ecosystem, it means capital and talent can finally flow efficiently to where they can do the most good.
Really, what we're looking at here is more than just a new piece of tech. This is the infrastructure for memory and accountability that Web3 desperately needs to mature. It's a fundamental shift, moving from a system that runs on feelings and hope to one that runs on cold, hard, verifiable evidence.
So, I'll leave you with this question. What becomes possible when trust stops being just a vague feeling and instead becomes a verifiable, portable, and even programmable asset? Andromeda Core, anchored on Rootstock, is giving us the tools to find out. Thanks for tuning in.